friends, welcome to all in my YouTube channel. Today I am going to explain about the different tests performed on the fresh concrete or concrete. So these tests are useful to know the workability of concrete or its proper how to know the properties of concrete, or easily we can use that concrete for our work, whatever work we have designed to achieve strength, also to check the strength. Also these tests are useful. So today I am going to explain K slump test, flow test, building of concrete test, and rebound hammer test. So slump cone test everybody know, but K slump test, it's a very easy test, so that's why we know something about this test. So it is very recently a new apparatus called the K slump tester. The apparatus is shown in figure. Tester has been devised. It can be used to measure the slump directly in 1 minute after the tester is inserted in the fresh concrete to the level of the floater disc. This tester can be used to measure the relative workability. The apparatus comprises of following four principal parts. So apparatus is comprised of four different parts. So first is a chrome plated steel tube with external and internal diameter of 1.9 and 1.6 centimeter respectively. The tube is 25 centimeter long and its lower part is used to make the test. The length of this part is 15.5 centimeter, which includes the solid cone that facilitates inserting the tube into the concrete. Two types of openings are provided in the part: four rectangular slots 5.1 centimeter long and 0.8 centimeter wide, and 22 round holes of 0.64 centimeter in diameter are provided. All these openings are distributed uniformly in the lower part as shown in figure. So figure shows the K slump tester. Second part, a disc floater 6 centimeter in diameter and 0.24 centimeter in thickness, which divides the tube into two parts. The upper part serves as a handle and the lower one is for testing, as already mentioned. The disc serves also to prevent the tester from sinking into the concrete beyond the pre-selected level. So here the procedure or the figure, exact figure during testing of slump by K slump tester is shown. Third part, a hollow plastic rod 1.3 centimeter in diameter and 25 centimeter long, which contains a graduated scale in centimeters. This rod can move freely inside the tube and can be used to measure the height of mortar that flows into the tube and stays there. The rod is plugged at each end with a plastic cap to prevent concrete or any other material from seeping inside. Fourth part, an aluminum cap 3 centimeter diameter and 2.25 centimeter long, which has a little hole and screw that can be used to set and adjust the reference zero of the apparatus. There is also in the upper part of the tube a small pin which is used to support the measuring rod at the beginning of the test. The total weight of apparatus is 2 to 6 grams. Now the procedure. Which procedure is followed? So how to measure the slump by K slump tester, and then afterwards we'll see its significance of test. So for procedure, first point, wet the tester with water and shake off the excess. Second, raise the measuring rod, tilt slightly and let it rest on the pin located inside the tester. Insert the tester on the leveled surface of concrete vertically down until the disc floater rests at the surface of the concrete. Do not rotate while inserting or removing the tester. After 60 seconds, lower the measuring rod slowly until it rests on the surface of the concrete that has entered the tube, and read the K-slump directly on the scale of the measuring rod. Raise the measuring rod again and let it rest on its pin. Remove the tester from the concrete vertically up and again lower the measuring rod slowly till it touches the surface of the concrete retained in the tube, and read workability directly on the scale of measuring rod. Now this is the procedure how we perform the test. Now its significance. The K-slump apparatus is very simple. As you see in the figure, it is very simple apparatus. It is practical and economical to use, both in the field and the laboratory. It has proven with over 450 tests that it has a good correlation with the slump cone. The K-slump tester can be used to measure the slump in 1 minute in cylinders, pails, buckets, wheelbarrows, slabs, or any other desired location where the fresh concrete is placed. A workability can be determined by the tester. So this is very simple apparatus, and within a 1 minute, we know the workability of concrete by using this. Now we will see another test, flow table test. Flow test, that is a flow table test. So apparatus is shown in figure, flow table apparatus. This is a laboratory test. This is laboratory test which gives an indication of the quality of concrete with respect to consistency, cohesiveness, and proneness to segregation. In this test, a standard mass of concrete is subjected to jolting. The spread or the flow of concrete is measured, and this flow is related to workability. Figure shows the detailed apparatus used. It can be seen that the apparatus consists of flow table about 76 cm in diameter, over which concentric circles are marked. A mold made from smooth metal casting in the form of a frustrum of cone is used with following internal dimensions. Dimensions of cone, whatever cone we use in slump cone, same likewise same cone, but its dimensions are: the base is 25 cm in diameter, upper surface 17 cm in diameter, and the height of the cone is 12 cm. The tabletop is clean of all gritty material and is weighted. So we should clean tabletop and it should make weight. The mold is kept on the center of the table, firmly held, and is filled in 2 layers. Each layer is rodded 25 times with a tamping rod 1.6 cm in diameter and 61 cm long, rounded at the lower tamping end. After the top layer is rodded evenly, the excess of concrete which has overflowed the mold is removed. The mold is lifted vertically upward and the concrete stands on its own without support. The table is then raised and dropped 12.5 mm 15 times in about 15 seconds. So here in figure you can see there are hinges, and here is the way I have done the concreting. After removing the mold vertically, so we raise table and drop 12.5 mm height 15 times in about 15 seconds. So 1 second 1 time. Then the diameter of the spread concrete is measured in about 6 directions. The diameter of the table is measured. Diameter of the spread concrete is measured. Diameter of the table is known to us. So diameter of the spread concrete is measured in about 6 direction to the nearest 5 mm and the average spread is noted. The flow of concrete is the percentage increase in the average diameter of the spread concrete over the base diameter of the mold. The flow of concrete is the percentage increase in the average diameter of the spread concrete over the base diameter of the mold. The value could range anything from 0 to 150%. A close look at the pattern of spread of concrete can also give a good indication of the characteristics of concrete, such as tendency for segregation. So flow percentage, here the formula is used. Flow percentage is equal to spread diameter in centimeter minus 25 divided by 25 into 100. So a table is shown. So these are the metal plate, these are external hinges, this is table top, this is upper stop, this is travel limited to 40 plus minus 1 mm. Then markings, these are the marking, they are the lifting handle. So here is the lifting handle, this way this is toe board, this is the lower stop, and this is the base frame. So we should raise, so lift the table top. After removing the mold, after filling the mold, remove mold, and then you do it. And the process is, and the its range or value of flow percent is calculated by using this formula. So now, before that, we have seen the test, but after this we'll see flow table apparatus. We have seen the test, how to perform the test. So table dimensions are shown in figure also. So here I am giving you some information about the flow table apparatus. The BIS, Bureau of Indian Standard, BIS means Bureau of Indian Standard, has recently introduced another new equipment for measuring flow value of concrete. This new flow table test is in the line with BS 1881 Part 105 of 1984 and DIN Standard 1048 Part 1. The apparatus and method of testing is described below. The flow table test apparatus is to be constructed in accordance with Figure A. Flow table top is constructed from a flat metal of minimum thickness 1.5 mm. The top is in plan 700 mm by 700 mm. The center of the table is marked with a cross. The lines which run parallel to and out to the edge of the plate. And with a central circle 200 mm in diameter, the front of the flow table top is provided with lifting handle as shown in figure. The total mass of the flow table top is about 16 plus minus 1 kg. The flow table top is hinged to a base frame using externally mounted hinges in such a way that no aggregate can become trapped easily between the hinges or hinge surface. The front of the base frame shall extend a minimum 120 mm beyond. The flow table top is in order to provide a top board and upper stop similar to that shown in figure is provided on each side of the table, so that the lower front edge of the table can only be lifted 40 plus minus 1 mm. The lower front edge of the flow table top is provided with two hard rigid stops which transfer the load to the base frame. The base frame is to constructed that this load is then transferred directly to the surface on which the flow table is placed, so that there is minimal tendency for the flow table top to bounce when allowed to fall. So accessory of apparatus. First is the mold. The mold is made up of metally readily not attacked by cement paste or liable to rust and of thickness of minimum 1.5 mm. The interior of the mold is smooth and free from projections such as protruding rivets and is free from dents. The mold shall be in the form of hollow frustum of cone having the internal dimensions as shown. The base and the top is open and parallel to each other and at right angle to the axis of the cone. The mold is provided with two metal foot pieces at the bottom and two handles above them to lift the mold. Tamping bar. The tamping bar is made up of suitable hard wood and having dimensions as shown or as given as earlier stated. Sampling. The sample of freshly mixed concrete is obtained. So you know how to obtain a sample. Now procedure. Procedure is the table is made level and properly supported before commencing the test. The table top and inner surface of the mold is wiped with the damp cloth. The slump cone is placed centrally on the table. The slump cone is filled with concrete in two equal layers. Each layer tamped lightly 10 times with the wooden tamping bar. After filling the mold, the concrete is struck off flush with the upper edge of the slump cone and the free area of the table top cleaned off. Half a minute after striking of the concrete, the cone is slowly raised vertically by the handle. After this, the table top is raised by the handle and allowed to fall 15 times in 15 seconds. The concrete spreads itself out. The diameter of the concrete spread shall then be measured in two directions, parallel to the table edges. The arithmetic mean of the two diameters shall be the measurement of the flow in millimeters. The arithmetic mean of the two diameters shall be in the measurement of flow in millimeters. So this is what the related with the flow table test. Now another test is method of test for bleeding of concrete. Bleeding of concrete. This method covers determination of relatively quantity of mixing water that will bleed from a sample of freshly mixed concrete. As we know, if bleeding is done, it will be harmful to the concrete. It will lose the strength of concrete. So it will develop the cracks. A cylindrical container of approximately 0.01 meter cube capacity having an inside diameter of 250 mm and inside height of 280 mm is used. A tamping bar similar to the one used for slump test is used. A pipette for drawing off free water from the surface. A graduated jar of 100 cm cube capacity is required for test. A sample of freshly mixed concrete is obtained. The concrete is filled in 50 mm layer for a depth 250 plus minus 3 mm in 5 layers. In 5 layers, we should fill that concrete in the container. And each layer is tamped by giving strokes. And the top surface is made smooth by trawling. The test specimen is weighed and weight of the concrete is noted. Knowing the total water contained in 1 meter cube of concrete quantity of water in the cylindrical container is also calculated. The cylindrical container is kept in a level surface free from vibration at a temperature of 27 degree centigrade plus minus 2 degree centigrade. It is covered with a lid. Water accumulated at the top is drawn by means of pipette at 10 minutes interval after the first 40 minutes and at 30 minutes interval subsequently till bleeding ceases. To facilitate collection of bleeding water, the container may be slightly tilted. All the bleeding water collected in a jar. So bleeding water percentage. Now bleeding water percentage is equal to, the formula is used, the bleeding water percentage is equal to total quantity of bleeding water divided by total quantity of water in the sample of concrete into 100. So this will give you bleeding water percentage. Now in the next video we will see rebound hammer test. So in the next chapter or next lecture we will see rebound hammer test, and furthermore we'll see all the tests, whatever test required to perform on fresh concrete or cement or sand or aggregate. So everything we'll see, and their significance also, their limitations, and why these states are important. That also we'll see one by one on audio video session type. So thank you for watching the video. If you like it, please do share it and subscribe the channel and perform the test as stated. Thank you.